Willow Creek is the perfect neighborhood. No crime, no noise, no fear, but every perfect place has rules, and every rule has a price. Welcome to nightmare in small doses. I can't write the real name of what the wooden sign at the entrance said, in flawless gold letters beside two willows that never shed their leaves. I can't write the real name of the neighborhood. I'll call it Willow Creek, because that's almost what the wooden sign at the entrance said. I also won't write my full name. My last name is Miller, and that's already too much information. But I need someone to understand why. If my family appears on the news tomorrow as yet another domestic tragedy, it wasn't a domestic tragedy, it was a homeowners association decision. The first thing I noticed when we moved to Willow Creek was the silence. Not the normal silence of a suburb, but a polished, intentional silence, as if someone had wiped a damp sponge over the world and erased every inconvenient sound. There were no dogs barking. There were no arguments through the walls. There were no teenagers revving motorcycles, babies crying in gardens, car alarms, loud music, nothing. Only the water from the sprinklers hitting the grass, the pruning shares closing slowly around the hedges, and the good mornings spoken by neighbors with every tooth in place, and glances that never lingered longer than necessary. My father loved it. He said it was the kind of place where a person could finally breathe. My mother thought the houses looked too much alike, but she convinced herself when the woman across the street, Elaine, showed up with an apple pie that was still warm and a laminated list of useful neighborhood contacts. My younger brother, Noah, was happy because there was a community pool. I was 23 and had moved back in with my parents after a failed internship and an impossible rent, so I just carried boxes and pretended I wasn't annoyed to be there. Elaine was the first person to mention the neighborhood watch. "It's nothing dramatic," she said when she saw my mother looking at the badge pinned to her blouse. It was a white rectangle with a blue owl and the words, "Community Watch." "Just so we can keep ourselves organized. Patrols, burnt-out lights, unfamiliar cars, that sort of thing. Willow Creek is safe because we all do our part." My mother smiled. My father smiled even more. "That's how it should be everywhere," he said. Elaine looked at him with a strange tenderness. It wasn't approval. It was almost pity. "You're going to like living here, Mr. Miller." For the first few weeks, everything seemed normal, if you ignored the absurd perfection. On Tuesdays, the trash bins appeared lined up beside the curb, all with their handles facing the road. On Wednesdays, a man named Victor rode by on his bicycle and left printed newsletters in the mailboxes, tips about locks, patrol schedules, crime statistics. The statistics were always the same. Burglaries, 0. Vandalism, 0. Disappearances, 0. Serious incidents, 0. At the bottom of every newsletter, there was a sentence in italics. "Safety is a shared effort." I thought it was funny the first time. By the 5th, it already felt like a threat. The annual meeting took place at the end of September, in the community hall behind the tennis court. We received an invitation inside a cream-colored envelope, with our last name written by hand. Attendance recommended for all residents over the age of 12. Below, in smaller letters, "Bring resident identification." "Now that's organization," my father said. "Looks like a shareholders meeting," I murmured. My mother gave me a light nudge with her elbow. Noah asked if there would be food. There was plenty. Tables full of cheese platters, miniature sandwiches, lemonade in glass pitchers, cookies with white icing shaped like little houses. Everyone was there. Elaine, Victor from the bicycle, the Patel couple from the corner, the Graves twins who mowed the lawn in white gloves, entire families sitting in perfectly aligned folding chairs. On the low stage, there was a table with a blue tablecloth. Behind it, 7 people from the neighborhood watch were seated like a jury. In the center, an acrylic ballot box. I thought they were going to vote on the budget for something, or the pool hours. For half an hour, that was exactly what it was. They talked about light bulbs, invasive plants, a delivery van that had come in 3 times without authorization. Then Elaine stood up. She had no papers. She didn't need them. "We have reached item 13, she said. The room went still. Not quiet, still. Even Noah, who had spent the meeting crushing cookies inside a napkin, stopped. "Before the vote," Mrs. Elaine continued, "we formally welcomed the Miller family from House 22. Everyone turned toward us at the same time. It wasn't like in the movies. No one smiled maliciously. No one tilted their head. They were just our neighbors, people who had lent us tools, recommended plumbers, waved while washing their cars. And in that instant, they all looked at us as if they already knew our exact weight." My father raised his hand, flustered. "Thank you. We're very happy to—" "Mr. Miller," Elaine said gently. "Please. Not yet." My father lowered his hand. I felt fear for the first time there. Not confusion, not discomfort. Fear. A small, cold thing in my stomach, like I had swallowed a coin. Elaine opened a black folder. "As you all know, Willow Creek has maintained a serious incident rate of 0 for 29 years. This result is not chance. It is not privilege. It is not mere vigilance. It is continuity. It is commitment." Victor stood up and turned off the hall lights. A projector came on behind the table. An old photograph of the neighborhood appeared on the screen. The houses still without lawns, the road not yet paved, the young trees tied to stakes. Then another photograph appeared. A burned house. Then another, police tape. Then another, a girl in a yellow dress smiling beside a bicycle. Elaine didn't look at the screen. In the first year, there were 3 deaths. In the second, 2 fires and 1 missing child. In the third, a home invasion. There was fear. There was randomness. There was the outside world coming in through our windows. The image changed to a scanned copy of an old document covered in signatures. The founders understood one simple thing. Violence does not disappear. Violence shifts. It can be scattered among everyone without order, or it can be concentrated, accepted, and contained. My mother whispered, "What the hell is this?" No one answered. I don't think anyone dared. Elaine placed both hands on the table. 1 family per year, 1 night per year, 1 house per year. The rest remained safe. My father stood up. "Excuse me?" His chair scraped against the floor, and that sound seemed obscene in that silence. "It's all explained in the purchase agreement," Victor said. "The agreement said there was a homeowners association." "Exactly," Elaine said. "The community security clause is binding." "Is this a joke?" No one laughed. Mrs. Patel looked at my mother and immediately looked away. Tears were gathering in her eyes, but she didn't look shocked. She looked tired. Elaine continued. "Tonight, we vote on the family that will assume the community risk for the next cycle. In other words, tonight, we vote on the family we will sacrifice. The transfer ceremony will take place tomorrow after sunset." "Ceremony?" my mother repeated. Noah began to cry silently. He was 12 years old. Only then did I understand why they had made a point of including that age in the invitation. "You can't do this," my father said. His voice was shaking, but it was still the voice of someone used to believing in the police, lawyers, locked doors. "I'm calling the authorities." That was the first moment Elaine smiled without any warmth at all. "We are the authorities, Mr. Miller." The projector showed new photographs. A local police officer at the neighborhood barbecue, a councilwoman cutting the ribbon at the pool, A retired judge handing out gardening awards. I recognized people sitting in the room. "The vote will now begin," she said. The acrylic ballot box was passed from hand to hand. Each resident received a white card, even Noah, a black pen, a murmured instruction. Write only the house number. There were no speeches, no discussions, no possible defense. My father tried to lead us outside. 2 men blocked the door, not with weapons, with their bodies. One of them, Mr. Graves, was still wearing a bead bracelet on his wrist, made by his granddaughter. "Get out of the way," my father said. "Please don't make this difficult," Mr. Graves said. The vote took less than 5 minutes. When Elaine counted the cards, she did it in a low voice. I could see her lips forming numbers. 22, 22, 19, 22, 8, 22. Our house. It wasn't unanimous. For some reason, that hurt more. There were people who chose other families. There was hesitation. There was calculation. Our death wasn't inevitable. It was convenient. By simple majority, Elaine said, House 22 has been selected. My mother made a sound I had never heard from her before. It wasn't a scream. It was as if some part of her had given way inside. Noah vomited on the floor. No one moved to help. They gave us a leaflet when we left. I swear they did. Thick paper, high-quality printing, blue title, guidelines for the sacrificed family. There was a list of instructions. Remain at home after 9 p.m. Do not contact external services. Do not damage fences, hedges, or property markers. Do not invite non-residents. Keep exterior lights on. Keep doors unlocked. My father tore the leaflet into 4 pieces right there on the sidewalk. Get in the car. We managed to leave the neighborhood that night. They didn't stop us. That should have relieved me. Instead, it terrified me even more. We went to a hotel beside the highway. My father called the police from 3 different precincts. At the first, the call dropped when he said the name of the neighborhood. At the second, they said there was no record of any threat. At the third, a very polite woman asked for our location, full name, phone number, and then said, "Mr. Miller, your family is currently outside the agreed safety boundaries. I recommend that you return before 9 p.m. to avoid escalation." My father hung up, his face gray. My mother wanted to drive to another state. My father wanted to go to a police station in person. I wanted to smash the cell phones. Noah asked if the neighbors were going to use knives because he had heard Victor tell someone, as we were leaving, that the blades needed to be sharpened before dawn. No one answered my brother. At 2:13 a.m., the hotel fire alarm went off. Everyone came out into the parking lot in pajamas, coughing, irritated. There was no fire, only smoke in the hallways, thin and sweet like burning paper. When we returned to the room, our suitcases were open on the beds. Inside my mother's suitcase, there was a white cookie shaped like a house. Inside mine, a card with the number 22. Inside Noah's, the piece of the leaflet my father had torn up. Only one line was still legible. Do not attempt to distribute the risk among innocents. At that point, my father stopped pretending he understood the world. We drove before dawn, not to Willow Creek, to my aunt's house almost 4 hours away. At a certain point, the tires began to lose air at the same time. They didn't burst, they deflated, slowly as if the road were sucking the rubber away. We stopped at a gas station. The man at the counter looked at my father's credit card and went pale. "I can't serve you," he said. "What do you mean?" "The station is closed." There were 3 customers behind us buying coffee. "It's closed to you." When we went outside, there were 4 cars parked beside ours. All identical, all white, all with Community Watch stickers on the rear window. Elaine got out of the first one. She was wearing jeans and a cardigan. like a grandmother on her way to the market. "That's enough, Daniel," she said to my father. We had never told her his first name. "Stay away from my family. We're trying to save 3 people. You voted to kill us." She looked at me, then at my mother, then at Noah. "We voted to contain what was already coming." "What?" I asked. It was the first time I had spoken directly to her since the meeting. My voice came out hoarse. Elaine came just close enough for me to smell her perfume, lavender and soap. "You think we're monsters because we use knives. The knives are mercy. Quick, human, understandable. What happens when a family runs is not human. It spreads. It looks for substitutes. It starts with strangers and always ends up coming back to the chosen house with interest." Behind her, Victor opened the trunk of the car. Inside were bags of salt, flashlights, rolls of plastic, gardening gloves, and kitchen knives wrapped in cloths. My mother pulled Noah against her. "Why us?" she asked. "We just got here." Elaine looked almost offended. "Precisely. You haven't contributed yet. You haven't lost anyone yet. You still believe safety is something you buy with taxes." My father lunged at her. I had never seen him like that. My father was a man who apologized when someone stepped on his foot. But in that moment, he charged forward with his fists clenched, and for a second I thought he was going to knock her down. Mr. Graves appeared from the side and hit him on the head with a flashlight. The sound was small, ridiculous. My father fell as if his legs had been switched off. Noah screamed. My mother tried to run. Victor grabbed her by the coat. I picked up a bottle of window cleaner from the gas station's outside shelf and smashed it against his face. The blue liquid spread everywhere. He let go of my mother, and we ran. I don't know how we managed to get back to the car. I don't know how we drove with the tires almost flat. All I know is that for miles, we saw the white cars in the rearview mirror, keeping their distance, in no hurry, as if they knew the road would eventually give us back. And it did. At 8:47 p.m., we were once again at the entrance to Willow Creek. It wasn't a choice. The GPS died. The side roads were blocked by roadworks that hadn't existed the day before. The highway had an accident blocking every lane. When my father tried to take a rural road, we found the same wooden sign in front of us, the same willows, the gold letters shining under the headlights. "Welcome to Willow Creek." Again. My father was conscious, but barely speaking. There was dried blood in his hair. My mother was praying silently. Noah was squeezing my hand so tightly that my bones hurt. Along the main avenue, the neighbors were standing on the sidewalks, each family in front of its house, adults, teenagers, children. Some were crying, some were holding candles, others were holding knives. Not ceremonial knives, ordinary knives, the same ones they must have used to slice bread, peel apples, prepare Sunday dinners. Our house, number 22, was fully lit. The windows shone like open eyes. The hedges around it seemed taller than they had that morning. "Don't get out of the car," my father said. But the car stopped by itself in front of the garage. The engine shut off, the doors unlocked. Elaine was waiting beside her white gate. "We can still do this with dignity," she said. My father laughed, a broken, horrible laugh. "Dignity? You can choose the order." My mother covered Noah's ears. That was when I realized something that still makes me feel ashamed. They weren't in a hurry because they didn't need to kill all of us. They only needed a family to be delivered. A full house, a recognizable set of names, blood, and photographs on the wall. Death was the visible mechanism, but the real thing was underneath. In the property lines, the fences, the contracts, the newsletters with perfect statistics, their safety needed a clean narrative, chosen family, difficult night, Silent house at the end. My father realized it too. He looked at me in the rearview mirror, then at Noah. Run when I say. Dad, don't argue. Elaine raised one hand. All the neighbors took one step forward. My father opened the door and got out. I'll stay, he said. My mother began to scream. Daniel, no! House 22 is mine, he said louder. The contract is in my name. The mortgage is in my name. The responsibility is mine. Elaine hesitated. It was only for a second, but it was enough for me to understand that their rules were old and stupid, and that the age of a thing does not make it any less vulnerable. It makes it rigid. The entire family, Victor said, still wiping one red eye from the liquid I had thrown at him. The clause says resident property unit, my father said. His voice was shaking, but the words came out clearly. I read it. You should have hidden it better. Elaine looked at the people behind her. For the first time that night, the neighborhood seemed unsafe. Then the hedges moved, not because of the wind. There was no wind. The leaves all turned at the same time, showing their pale undersides. The sound was like thousands of fingernails scraping against paper. The white fences along the street creaked, not outward, but inward, like teeth clenching. Elaine lost all color. Mr. Miller, she said, go inside the house. My father smiled at us. It wasn't a brave smile, it was a desperate smile, full of fear, and that was why I recognized it as real. Run, he said. We got out on the opposite side of the car. The world immediately became loud. Screams, wood splintering, knives falling onto the asphalt. My mother was pulling Noah. I was pushing them both, and we ran, not toward the main avenue, but through the Henderson's hedge. The branches tore at my face and arms. I felt them catching on my clothes like little fingers. Behind us, someone shouted my father's name. Then my father screamed. I won't describe that sound. Not because I can't. Because if I write it too precisely, maybe it will become something else they can use to find us. We crossed 3 yards, a swimming pool, a barbecue area. Noah slipped on decorative stones and almost got left behind. My mother went back for him, and I saw, over her shoulder, the entire street rippling. The houses seemed to lean slightly toward ours, like curious neighbors at a window. At the corner of Cedar Street, we found the Patel couple. They were waiting for us. Mr. Patel was holding a knife, but the blade was pointed downward. His wife was crying openly. This way, she whispered. She led us through their garage, through a side door, into a narrow hallway that smelled of paint and fried onions. On the floor, there was a backpack. Money, water, prepaid phone, Mr. Patel said. Don't use your cards. Don't say your last name. Don't return to main roads before dawn. My mother took his hands. Why are you helping us? He looked at the wall. There were photographs of a teenage girl with braces. 6 years ago, we voted for House 14, he said. Our daughter voted against it. She told the girl from the family that was going to be sacrificed before the ceremony. The watch said that broke the rules of containment. His wife closed her eyes. Since then, we have one more room in the house, empty. No one remembers who it was for, but we do, every day. I didn't understand right away. Then I did, and I wished I hadn't. They helped us leave through the back gate. Before they closed it, Mrs. Patel held me by the wrist. Don't think running ends this. It only changes the shape. She was right. I have been writing this for 3 weeks, from libraries, laundromats, cafes where you pay in cash. My mother and Noah are somewhere safe for now. I won't say where. We move every 2 days. My father has been reported missing. The official version is that he had a breakdown, attacked neighbors during a community meeting, and fled into the woods behind our house. The local police published a request for information with a photograph of him smiling, taken last Christmas. In the comments, the residents of Willow Creek write things like, "Such a nice family, and you never know what goes on behind closed doors." House 22 is already for sale. I saw the listing yesterday. Immaculate lawn, renovated kitchen, safe, family-friendly neighborhood, active homeowners association. Ideal for anyone seeking peace and quiet. That scared me even more. Another family would soon be joining that insane community. I felt a chill run down my spine just thinking about it. That wasn't the only thing keeping me awake. Every night before I go to bed, I think this will be the night Elaine and the rest of that community burst in here and finish what they left undone. Sacrifice us the way they were supposed to. Me, my mother, and Noah. Every night, several times, I checked whether the door was locked. It had become an obsession. I always felt as if it was unlocked until today. It was worse. Not only was it unlocked, it was ajar. They were here. I ran to the room where we sleep and locked the bedroom door. The three of us are completely terrified, panicked, not knowing what to do. Trapped here, fearing the worst. Thank you for joining me for another dose of nightmares. If you enjoyed the story, be sure to subscribe and leave a like, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you'd like even more stories to keep you awake at night, consider joining my Patreon, where you can read and listen to exclusive nightmares you won't find anywhere else. Until next time, happy nightmares.